Yeah. Thank you very much, Mas Rianda. I do hope that my voice is quite loud and clear for everyone. Yeah. First, I would like to say thank you very much to Ad America for inviting me again here as one of the great speakers. Actually, I and Mas Abi have been invited for a couple of times, for the Inclusion 101. I believe that you must be quite familiar with that uh, show. Yeah. And for your information, actually, I completed my bachelor degree here at this very university 22 years ago. It's like 2 decades ago. It was
22 years ago. Wow.
and I was the only student with disability back then. You can imagine, yeah, the
Yeah.
challenges that I faced back then with no legal framework available for the protection of the rights of students with disabilities. When we talk about disability inclusion, and I think Mas Abi also has mentioned that in terms of disability legal framework, we have been progressing quite a lot. Yeah, we do have ratified the UN Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disability, have passed the first disability rights-based law in Indonesia, which is law number 8 of 2016 on persons with disability. And for the last 2 years, there have been 9 implementing regulations that will make sure this law will be implemented as intended. And specifically for the rights of persons with disability to access employment, be it in the formal employment or informal sector, we have government regulation number 60 of 2020, yeah, on reasonable accommodation for workers with disability. And this law requires that all provinces, all municipalities to establish a disability unit service under the Department of Manpower, in all provinces and in all municipalities. So the very purpose of this disability service unit is to bridge um, the job seekers with disability and the employee, right? But only a handful of provinces, yeah, for the last 2 years that have established this ULD or Disability Service Unit. Yeah, actually, we have a lot of best practices, yeah, that have already been demonstrated by the private sector, like PNG, for example. But when it comes to the real things on the ground, people with disabilities are still facing a lot of challenges, yeah, in accessing decent work or in accessing the labor market. And a lot of multiple challenges actually. It is so related to their low level of education, the lack of disability friendly built environment, and also stigma is still pretty much an issue, like a die-hard issue that has been what do you call it? The main challenges here for disability activists and disability movement, yeah, in uh, changing the paradigm in looking at disability in the human rights framework. Yeah. Uh, I have a few slides that maybe later, yeah, I can
Yeah.
tell you more about the situation and also about what challenges exactly, and also some facts and stats regarding the access of people with disability to labor market. I think because I'm afraid that we don't have much time, so don't bother showing my slides, I think. I'm just gonna say a few important points, I think, that hopefully everyone can take home and they will remember for the rest of their life. Um, I think the very key, yeah, to create inclusion, or when we talk about inclusive employment. Yeah, we talk about to create employability for people with disability and to create an inclusive employment and the workplace. I think the very key here is really about changing, completely changing the way we look at people with disability, right? At the Mentimeter that was shown earlier, yeah, you might still remember some words like spatial, assistance, need help. Those words describe our common views in looking at people with disability, right? So we do really need to change our outlook, our way of looking at people with disability as a potential citizen, as a contributing citizen. And the way to do that, we should really eradicate stigma. Believe it or not, yeah,
Right.
I'm still feeling a lot of stigma in my life, right? Stigma is frequently associated with a perception that looks at people with disability as, you know, uh, 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 unable or lack of ability to learn, or associate them with the sick person, with those people who always need help, right? So I do a lot of domestic travels, yeah, and almost in every flight I have, the flight crew asks me, "Are you going to have the medical treatment, sir?" Every flight I experience.
Yeah, right.
I'm not having my medical treatment, right? Also have a funny story to tell you. A couple of months ago, I was in Jakarta with my wife, and I was enjoying coffee at a cafe. And then my wife had to rush to the toilet, and then she left me alone to die. No, I'm joking. But she left me alone, right? And I already finished my pepper cup of tea. And all of a sudden, unexpectedly, to my surprise, a lady came up to me and put 2,000 rupiahs into my paper cup.
No way.
Goodness, do I look like a bum who needs help that desperately? Something like that. So that exactly demonstrates, yeah, how people still see people with disability, yeah, how our society still treats people with disability as a burden, as a weak person, as a powerless person. So I think this is something that we do really need to change. Yeah, to we need to see
Right.
people with disability, yeah, as contributing. Yeah, they have potential. All they need is support from the environment, yeah, to get rid of the barriers. Right, disability happens because of the restriction from the environment, yeah, beyond themselves. It's not only about the impairment. It's not really about how environment has disabled people with disability. Yeah, it's about how a city has made many people with disability disabled. And the last thing that I would like to mention is, okay, I think inclusion is like a buzzword nowadays. Yeah, inclusion
Right.
is
Yeah.
the seems like the most important issue in all policies. Yeah, but we don't want diverses. You know what I mean by diverses? Yeah. Okay. People say one company say, all right, we have employed a lot of like 10 or 15 persons with disability, but that's it. Yeah. There is no serious efforts. Yeah, to provide them with all the reasonable accommodation they need, all the supports they need. Yeah, all equal treatment in enhancing their career, for example. Yeah. Okay. Some public buildings have a ramp. Do you have a ramp? Yes, sir. We do have a ramp. Where is it? How many ramps do you have? We only have one ramp. Where is it located? It's very far at the back of the building. That's diversity. Yeah. Yeah. Showing that, okay, we have complied by, we have abided by the law. We have provided all accessibility and sort of, what do you call that, as mandated by the law.
Right.
But there is no serious efforts in, making sure that barrier-free environment is created for people with disability, and equal opportunity is fully created for people with disability to participate in all aspects of life, in accessing education, in accessing decent employment. I like the questions very much, right? We can start inclusion from doing small things. Now, let me ask you, how do you call people like me? People in wheelchairs like me? Anybody? Raise of hand. Feel free to say anything. No one dares? Yeah, Bu Rosi? Intellectual. Thank you. Anybody else? Okay. Bu Rosi's answer demonstrates what we want. Yeah. We don't want you people to see our disability first. Please see what we do. Right? I'm an academic. So I'm an academic who happens to be disabled. Right? Maybe some other friends are architects. Yeah. Blind architects, who knows? Yeah. So they are architects who happen to have visual impairment, for example. Right? So I think that's the first thing, small thing that you can do, right? So change the terminology that you use, right? See our ability first, not our impairment. Yeah, I think, and then I believe that there should be quite a number of students with disability in Andalas University or at UNM or at the University of Wali Songo, right? Then what have you done to engage them, to involve them in any activity of yours, right? We want to be engaged. You know? We want to be involved in whatever you're doing, right? We can do anything, right? So people like me, yeah. When I was in Australia, I was swimming, I was diving. The only thing that I really regret not being able to do was having a skydiving. Maybe next time I will do that. Right? Everyone can do it.
Right.
So I think that's the very first thing. So when you go back home, if you see your relatives, if you see your friends or families who still keep their children at home, you remind them that the children, that the brothers and sisters are potential people who will have good future, yeah, as long as they have full support from their family and from their surrounding people. I think that will be all, Mas Randa. Thank you.
Thank you very much.